Well, hey everybody. Welcome to Business Over Beer Untapped. I'm your co-host Ben Surratt. And we have somebody here. Who is that person across the across the screen from me? A couple thousand miles away. It's Kimberly Keys. You're back.
Back. Listen, I know everybody missed me. I am back.
They did you changed your color of your hair too.
Yeah, so I had to reinvent myself in order to come back. Yeah.
That's, that's a sign of an entrepreneurial spirit right there. Reinventing yourself. It's awesome.
It's called getting
Uh
bored easily. Yeah.
so Kimberly Keys, now that you're here, we have somebody else here too. Do you know who we have?
Yeah. It's like Brady Bunch. Where is she on the screen to me?
No,
She's down there.
she's on. Oh, she's down there.
Yes, we have Jess, and Jess is an ADHD coach, and she does a lot of amazing things, has a book, a great
That's
following.
right.
I am so excited to have you here, Jess, on the I'm talking like you're not even here. Like, I'm so excited you're here. So,
Thanks. I'm excited to be here.
Jess DuBose, welcome.
Thanks.
Um, so before we get started, okay, I want you to give some our listeners and our viewers just a little background about who you are, and what you do, high level, and then yeah. So yeah, your turn.
Great. As you all mentioned, I am Jess DuBose and I'm an ADHD coach. And I'm an ADHD coach who doesn't have ADHD, which is weird. I know that. I am just a fucking anomaly. That's who I am. And I own it. I love it. So a lot of people ask me like how I got into ADHD coaching as a result of that. And I have a background in music education. And when I was in school, I had a professor who did a simulation on ADHD. So I like walked into the classroom like it was this normal day and people were turning like vacuuming in the hallway, the lights were getting turned on and off. People were sneezing excessively loudly for a college class and like getting up to throw away trash. And then the professor was going like faster and faster through the slides. Oh, and there was an Aflac duck going off in the middle of class. For those of you who
What?
don't know what Aflac is, it's like there's a mascot for an insurance company that goes Aflac, Aflac, like in the middle of a college class, which is ridiculous. So I
I thought
remember
you meant I
throwing
thought you meant Ben Affleck. I was like, what
no,
was he doing there? He definitely has ADHD. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
tell me you have ADHD without
oh my
telling me
gosh.
you have ADHD. So I remember throwing my pen on the table and crossing my arms and thinking like, I cannot learn. I do not know what's happening. And the professor, he stopped and he was like, people with ADHD, it's not that they can't pay attention, it's that they pay attention to everything.
Hmm.
So that reframe for me was so powerful because this was 2008. The only thing I knew about ADHD at the time was can't sit still, can't pay attention. And so that reframe was really interesting. And I'm a person who really loves to understand psychology and how we work differently. And so anytime I met somebody with ADHD and they were willing to talk to me about it, I would just ask them a million questions because I wanted to understand how our brains could work so differently. So as a result, I started collecting ADHDers kind of by accident. So I had lots of friends and roommates. I was married to someone with ADHD, and several years ago, I was living with some roommates with ADHD, and I was on my journey to being a coach and trying to figure out who I was going to be coaching because you can't just market yourself as a life coach because what the fuck does that mean? Um,
Hmm.
so I was like, they were like, when are you going to do your workshop on ADHD? And I was like, why would I do that? I don't have ADHD. But I started seeing how I was teaching them and some other people in my life about their ADHD. So I did. I did a workshop. And then a workshop turned into a program, and the program turned into clients. And now that's what I do full time. And I love it because ADHDers are some of my favorite people in the world.
Wow, that's why we get along, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I can't wait. I have a whole bunch of questions to ask you
Great.
as someone who is a sufferer of ADHD.
Suffer?
Um, well, I don't know. Am I a
Ooh.
sufferer?
That's a really good question. Do you
We'll
find
get
it
to
to
that
be
later. Hold on.
self-suffering or
Hold on.
not?
Hold on. I got to get to the beer part.
Sure.
We'll get to that. So Kimberly Keys,
Yes.
what are you having this fine episode?
Yeah, I'm drinking a Fuzztail. It is, I don't know if you
Hmm.
can see it on the screen. I'm gonna do my little socials with hands. It's from Sun River Co. in Oregon. In Sun
Sun
River.
River. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hef.
No.
Hefty.
Yeah. That's a great brewery. The mosquito, I think it's called the something mosquito. There's a mosquito one, an
I think so,
IPA.
yeah.
Oh,
hmm
oh,
Yeah.
delicious. Um, Jess, you don't drink beer. You don't really. So what are you having though?
I'm drinking some lovely water out of my water bottle with my logo on it because I don't like alcohol does not agree with my body.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't agree with anybody's body, to believe it or not.
Well, it
Yeah.
makes me feel gross, so I just don't drink it.
I hear you. Um, I am drinking. This is a brewery that I went to last week. It's they're called Explorer, the Explorer Brewery,
Oh.
and it's called Lost in the Sauce. And with ADHD, I kind of feel lost in the sauce sometimes. I feel lost. So that goes to my first question, Jess DuBose. Um, can you just give a breakdown what ADHD really is? Do you have that knowledge and you know what it actually does, what the brain is doing up there?
So if you want the like sciencey response, I would encourage all of you to like Google or ChatGPT that because that is not my wheelhouse.
Okay.
However, what I can talk about is what I have learned and what I understand ADHD to be after working with hundreds of people with ADHD. And for one, it's misnamed because they call it attention deficit hyperactivity
Active.
disorder,
Yeah.
and it's not a deficit of attention. Like it's a I've heard some people talk about it, it's a regulation of attention issue more than it is a deficit. Because if you've ever met an ADHDer and witnessed them hyper focus on a thing, they can laser focus their attention on something if they're really interested in it to the point where they'll forget to eat, forget to go to the bathroom like for hours at a time. And so it's not like deficit of attention, it's an attention regulation issue. And that shows up in lots of ways. That shows up with executive functioning issues sometimes because the system that we live in requires us to function in a certain way, and a lot of the stuff we're required to do is boring as shit. And
Hmm.
so having an ADHD or sit down to do their it's April taxes is like asking a second grader to sit down and do taxes. Like it's just not something that is going to be really fun to do and people who are neurotypical don't even like doing taxes. So,
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
right? So it's not a fair thing to ask. But then also there's this thing called time blindness where ADHDers have no concept of time. 2 hours, 2 years are basically the same thing in their mind. And so because of that, our society puts morality on time and morality on being able to function with executive stuff. And so with those two things, then people with ADHD are often shamed for not being able to do those things because everything in our society is surrounded around the time and being able to use your executive function and skills.
So say that again. So you're saying, and I agree with you. I just want to make sure I understand. So you're saying society has a standard,
Mhm.
and if we don't meet those, if when I say we, I mean humans, and you know, whatever, we don't meet that, there's a stigma automatically attached to that.
Mhm.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so if we go for an example, showing up late to something could be the end of the world Like, you're wasting my time and da 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 da. But what you don't understand of what happened for an ADHD, or it's not that they're wasting your time. It's not that they don't care about your time. It's like you have to understand what was happening for them while they're trying to get ready to leave. Because ADHDers have no concept of time. They're like, "Ooh, I have 30 minutes before I have to leave. I'm going to do all of these things in the 30 minutes before I have to leave," which they don't recognize is going to take more than 30 minutes. Plus, they didn't factor in, because they don't have executive function skills, the fact that how much time it's actually going to take them to get out the door, drive there, park, and walk into the space.
Right.
Transitions are really hard. And so it's not that they're on purpose trying to be late. It's that literally that there's no concept of time. And so trying to figure out how long it's going to take to do these things before I got to go and be there on time is not something they're skilled at.
Jeez. I, you know what's crazy? I was just thinking about this today as I literally, and this is my whole life I've been thinking about this though. It's like time, like it was 7:50 a.m. I had to be out the door at like 8:10. And I was all dressed. I got showered, I got dressed early. I sat down and I opened my computer. And I even my mind was like, "Ben, this is not a good idea.
Yep.
You know what's going to happen." I'm like, "Nah, I got this." I even made it an effort to tell Alexa to remind me that it's going to be 8. Yes, I did. Well, she goes off. I'm like, "Okay, cool. I have 3 more minutes." Next thing I know, it's quarter after 8.
Mhm.
I'm like, "What the crap? I gotta go."
And I think there's actually a lot of beauty in that. Because what that actually tells me is that ADHDers are very good at being present in some regards.
Mm.
And so because they're present in like what it is they're actually doing, they're not caring about the time. They're not thinking about this extra bullshit of things that we're supposed to be doing. And so you're like really focused on the task that you're doing rather than thinking about everything else.
I it all makes sense to me. Is that it is you were talking a little bit before too about, society. Is this something that the whole that stigma, is that part, do are we learning that in school? Is that part of our education system in your opinion? That stigma of like this, and if you don't meet that, you are a failure. Like,
1,000%. It's like embedded. Like you have to show up to class, school on time when maybe you're in charge of that or not. But if you have ADHD, it's likely one or both of your parents have ADHD. So you were maybe not on time to school if your parent was driving you. And then if you're not on time, then you might get in trouble. And then when you're in charge of your own time, like showing up to class on time when you only have like 5 minutes between bells or whatever it is in high school, you have to show up on time or you don't get in trouble, and you have to turn in papers at a certain time and you have to do this on time and da da da. And all of the things that you have to do in school also require executive function, remembering when your papers are due, remembering to do your homework. And I've seen, especially with ADHD shows up differently for men and women. So
hmm,
a lot of women will get diagnosed later in life because they were showing up as the good student in school. But sometimes um, ADHDers will go through the trouble of doing their homework, leaving it at home, losing it being in their backpack and can't find it. And then they're not turning it in. And so they're getting bad grades, even though they know the stuff and they're really smart and they've gotten it. And their teacher's like, "What is wrong with you?" And they don't know because, especially when we were all in school, it wasn't, ADHD was not known as something to consider.
no, yeah. Especially with me growing up, like I was diagnosed, I was a junior in high school
Mm.
when I was diagnosed. And it was kind of, so that was, I had to be 1993-ish. And it was kind of revolutionary because they gave me these tests. Because This was something that the school had to go outside of the school district to bring this person in to to um to help assess me and what
Wow.
was, yeah. And that's what it helps, having educators for parents. Like, that's what it
Mhm.
does for you. But they brought it in, and I had to do these tests, like with I had to do like puzzles,
Mhm.
hand-on puzzles, and then writing stuff, and then doing both. And yeah, I had a meeting with all my teachers, and they were, you know, I don't want to say they felt bad, but you could tell even some of the teachers weren't really buying it. Like, they're like,
Mm.
nah, he's just lazy. Like, for real. Like,
Yeah.
that was an actual thing. And it's so, like, what you're saying is like, wow, this was such that's an eye-opening thing for me, Jess. Like, when you were saying, because you're describing me growing up, and to this day,
Mhm.
yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, and that's it's unfortunate because there's there's actually nothing wrong with you. It's like the systems that we have are not built for people like you, which is where the challenges come in and where the shame comes in, and then this like ever ending. I don't know. Lots of people call it different things, but like the inner critic or inner roommate that just kind of berates you the whole time ends up happening for ADHDers because they think it's going to help them get the shit done that they're struggling to get done, but that's not actually supportive at all.
Oh, 100%. I always find myself saying, what are you doing? Come on. Again? You're always late. I always, oh, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. Anyways.
And when you do that to yourself, is that like, does that motivate you?
No, no. And, at this point, it's like, I know. I know.
Well, and then imagine if you could change that voice and instead it was saying, it's okay, be kind to yourself. We were late because of X, Y, and Z, and it makes total sense. Everyone is okay to wait on you. You're not in imposition on other people. You get to love yourself right where you are. Like, imagine like a kind, nurturing
Mm,
voice happening rather than the berating, beating yourself up voice happening.
I love that. Is that one of your tricks? Not trick. I don't want to say trick, but one of your tools that you give?
Yes.
Tricks.
And it's not an easy thing to unlearn. Like learning in itself is not an easy thing, but unlearning a thing is 1,000 times harder. And so when you're unlearning and you're training yourself to do something different after decades of doing the same thing, it's not an easy thing. It's simple, but it's not easy. And that's the thing, that's the heart of what I do in ADHD coaching is most of the tools and things that I have are very simple. And for an ADHD brain, they're like, well, this can't be effective. It's too simple. It's too easy. Like, no, no, no. It's not easy. It's actually really difficult. But actually, giving yourself permission to do it and like actually do it is a lot of hard work. But while I don't have ADHD, I did have the crazy inner critic. And I've spent years at this point training her to say things differently. And now I find myself like several months ago I was like walking home downtown and I was like out of breath and sweaty and like it was just a hard walk and it was hot and whatever. And so I reckon the old version of myself would have been like, "Oh my god, you're so fucking out of shape. What is your problem? You need to be getting out of the gym and da 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 da."
Mm,
But in that moment, I was like, "We're just 3 blocks away. We can do this." That is what I heard. And it was so encouraging and so kind, and it was just the energy of that was so different. So years of work on training myself, it's possible to train that inner voice to sound differently, but it does take work. It's not hard, it's simple or not easy, but it is simple.
mm. I love that.
Me too.
I love that.
I love the inner voice. That really just makes you look at different things. Like I'm the aspiration girl. Like I put things on my mirrors to make me feel a certain way when I'm feeling another certain way. Like usually it's when I'm feeling down or, the depression blues of the Pacific Northwest weather or something. And I'm a big, okay, let's find an easy, quick solution, something just to make you feel better about yourself and change that mindset. I feel like that's super important. And especially as entrepreneurs, and just humans in general, we do not change that mindset often enough. And we need to continue reminding ourselves that we're doing good. Every step is another step towards success or towards a goal or just feeling good about ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and okay, there's two things about this. One, every time I see a client, one of the first things that we do is talk about wins, because ADHDers are really good at seeing the stuff they suck at, but they are not great at remembering the things that they've accomplished and the things that they've done well. Because what happens is you like meet this goal and you've already moved the goalpost before you've like paused to celebrate the win and to see how far you've come. And so then you're feeling like you're playing catch up all the time and you're not good enough and this and that. And because you're setting yourself up for failure by moving the goalpost even before you reach it. And
Mm.
so we pause and we talk about the wins. And sometimes it's hard to do that, especially with that time blindness thing. I was like, okay, in the last 2 weeks since I've talked to you, what are your wins? And I'm like, okay, don't worry about the time frame. What are some wins you can share with me right now? And it could be things that feel small or minute, but a win is relative to individual. It's not compared to anyone else. So if for you remembering to move the clothes from the washer to the dryer is a fucking huge win, then we celebrate the fuck out of that. Because for you it's a great win and I'm going to cheerlead you on. And when you learn how to start celebrating yourself like that at first, it can feel foreign or fake. Like, ugh, I'm like celebrating moving. Really? I'm celebrating moving my clothes from the washer to dryer. Really, Jess? Like, no, but like, feel it in your body. Actually, let yourself, like, if you were proud of your child or someone that you love dearly, how would you treat that? You would never treat yourself the same way
Mm.
because for some reason ADHDers think they're the exception to the rule. I'm like, you're not special. You are. You are extremely special, but you're not like the exception. You get to be celebrated just like anyone else.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I
Wow.
celebrate wins all the time. I'm just kidding.
Do you?
No, really. I mean, I'm so busy that if I clean the house, I'm gonna be like, fuck yeah, I'm amazing. This was awesome. This was so productive. Yes, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, I could have done 20 other things today, but to be able to prioritize certain tasks and then celebrate those wins, that's something I've really have come a long way with because I was
Yeah.
not like that in the past. So yeah.
And I always say when we talk about wins, it's like you don't get to put the but. So like I did my
Mm.
laundry, but I didn't put them away. No, no, no.
Yep.
No buts. There's no buts in celebration.
You know how hard it is to keep butt out of a conversation, like, or out of your headspace? That's so hard to do. Yeah, I can't.
I like big butts, and I cannot lie.
I knew you were gonna say something. So, oh,
I could help it. I could not help it.
I knew it. I shouldn't have even said anything. I knew it.
Excellent.
Tease, if you loft him up, I'm going to hit him out of the park.
I
Come
know.
on.
And I'm just gonna drink my beer while you do it. So,
Excellent. Okay, so the other part of this is try starting small. ADHDers can be like super black and white, all or nothing, and that's also setting yourself up for failure. So you're like,
Mm.
I'm gonna be kind to myself forever, and then the moment that you say something negative to yourself, you're like, fuck, I fucked it up already. So you got to start small, and you got to start with replacing. So sometimes people are like, oh, I'm just not gonna do this thing. It's not as easy as that. It's easier to replace the thing. So with language and talking to yourself, one of the first ones that I start talking to people about is changing I should to I get to, or I have to I get to. So like I have to clean the litter box to I get to clean the litter box. Now again, that will feel super foreign and fake and like what I get to what Jess? I get to clean the litter box. Like, but okay, because this is the thing that I hate doing. I have two cats. I love them dearly, but I hate cleaning the litter box. So I'm like, okay, but if I get into the why, I get to clean the litter box. Well, I have 2 cats. I chose to have 2 cats, and I love them dearly, and they really do get to have a really nice place to go to the bathroom. If I don't clean that, that's not healthy or helpful to them. That's not kind to them. So actually, no, really, I do get to clean the litter box.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like,
Hmm.
you're right though. And I'm glad you said should, because I was told that a while ago to start to try to notice how many times um it was a friend of mine. He's awesome. He goes, try to first notice how many times you say the word should. Like, just start noticing it and then try to replace that or eliminate it from, because what you're doing is you're giving yourself an out of not to do something, or you're giving yourself, it's a, like, we should get together sometime. Okay, there's no definitive end to that. It's just, yeah, okay, we should. And so instead of saying we should get together, say, uh, what does your next couple of weeks look like to get together for coffee or whatever? Keep
Mhm.
it, you're still vague. It's still kind of vague, but there's finality there. And I'm so glad you said should, because I never thought of it until my buddy Jason Hauser, by the way, he's awesome. He was like, just notice how many times you say should.
Mhm. And the nuance with that is so interesting because, like you said, it gives you an out, but also the word should um, sounds like obligation, feels heavy, feels like you're beating yourself up and shaming yourself. Whereas, like, I could or I get to, the energy of those words are very different.
I never thought of it like that. You're right. It is heavy. Wow. This is some good shit, Jess. You should write a book.
Oh, wait, I've already done that.
Oh, well,
Oh,
we'll get to
stay
that
tuned.
later. We'll get to
Stay
that later.
tuned to the end of the podcast for the shameless plug. Oh my god.
Keys, what else you got?
Hmm.
Yeah. I got a lot. No, I was kidding. What do I have? Yeah. I kind of want to shift to a business mindset if we can. Obviously passages to success. We work with a lot of entrepreneurs, small business owners. A lot of them are overwhelmed, feel burnout. Some of them are dealing with, just getting in their own way with their mindset. Um, so I think I want to start with like time management. I think that was one of the things that we kind of want to talk about was time management is a struggle for business owners. But
Mm,
it didn't even dwell on me to think about those with ADHD as well. And you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur. There's so much under that's heavy under that umbrella of owning an entrepreneur business that if you have ADHD, it just adds those extra elements. So I would love to talk about how time management is a struggle. Like what are some common issues that you see or, how can we avoid that time management issue?
Yeah. So, well, we talked about time blindness already, so that's part of it, right? So not having any concept of how short or long it takes to do a thing. So oftentimes ADHDers will do a thing when they think they have like, oh, I have 20 minutes, I'm going to get this thing, not recognizing it's going to take 2 or 3 times as long to do the thing. Or they avoid the thing because they think it's going to take 3 hours and it's only going to take actually 10 minutes. So we have that happening a lot. Then we also have I don't know what this is, and let me know if this resonates with you. But with almost every ADHD I talk to, and this one I include myself in, try telling an ADHDer what to do. They don't like being told what to do ever, let alone telling
right.
themselves what to do. So the concept of not being able to being able to work for themselves is like, oh, I don't have people telling me what to do. But at the same time, ADHDers are like, "Oh, I need structure. I need structure. I need structure." And then they don't know how to give that to themselves. And so there's this dichotomy of like, I need structure, I crave structure, I need consistency, but also don't tell me what to fucking do. And that push-pull is not an easy thing to navigate, and then they wonder why they're doom scrolling on TikTok for 6 hours, because they're just constantly having this fight in their head with themselves.
Oh, so it's called being a Libra, basically. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, because that's
And
me.
it's and it's YouTube Shorts, not TikTok.
Oh, whatever one is your cup of tea.
I mean, come on, Jess, come on.
They're all equally loved. Okay, Ben, get off of it. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I definitely fall in that bucket.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness. Because I wonder, like, I'll be so in the zone and, have these creative bursts. And then suddenly I'll get feedback and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't want that. But also, now I want to doom scroll, but I also need structure to stay in that creative mindset to continue making the projects. But now I'm so bent out of shape by somebody giving me constructive feedback, even though I love constructive feedback, that's how we grow. But I find myself in that rhythm. And now it takes 2 to 3 business days where I'm like, okay, now I can get back in this creative mindset and actually do something. And that's my form of structure. It's like a loose structure. It doesn't make any sense. It's not structure.
Mm,
Yeah. Interesting.
But does it
Ben, I
work
would love
for
to know how you deal with that. Like, how do you do with your time management?
yeah, I have a wife. Who
And we're
tells
done.
me? I've said, you met Angie. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you got your opposite right there. It's perfect. So you guys mesh well. Now that's probably accurate. Yeah, business
Yeah,
partners
it
or
is
spouses.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. I would say no. So the whole thing about not being told what to do, Jess, you're 100% correct. And it's not like I'm with Kim. It's like I know I need the constructive criticism. I know I need it, but for some reason it irks me. It's like, don't tell me how to do my thing. Yes, I know you want me to get better. I know that it's for my you know for me to grow, but I don't want to hear it. Like I have that conversation and I try to, it takes work for me to um not take that personal, you know.
well,
It to the point where I say like to myself or to the person saying it's like I know this is not personal. So don't feel bad about giving me this. But if I have the resting bitch face, it's not because of you, it's because it's me.
well, okay, and let's talk about what's going on then internally and why it can be so upsetting. So for an ADHDer who was told once, twice, 3 times, "Hey, could you hang that clock up for me on the wall?" You're like, it has been in your brain every single day, beating yourself up for not having done it already. Every time you see it, every time you pass where it's supposed to be. So you're already in this spiral of shaming yourself into trying to get it done, but having not done it yet because you're also doing 1,200,000 other things in your brain, let alone in real life. And then someone comes in and is like, "Hey, do this thing." I've been talking to myself about doing this every hour on the hour for the last 12 days. I don't need another person coming in doing the same thing. And so then that's where the anger and frustration comes in because the people don't understand, the other person doesn't understand that that's what's been going on internally for you this whole time. And so
Oh
you're
my
seeing this
goodness.
reminder as like an facing your shame instead of a friendly nudge to invitation to like, hey, remember you wanted to do this thing? Thanks.
Wow. Yeah.
Whoa, that's heavy. And I'm so bad. Like it's just gonna sound terrible, but not really. I can see through a compliment sandwich too. Like I can recognize them and be like, okay, don't. Well, first, Ben, I want to say you did a great job. And like, no, nope, 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 nope. Don't do that to me because I know exactly what you're like. I'm that bad. But I accept it and I work at not taking it personal. And it helps. It helped me to say to that person, like, or to myself, this is not personal. I understand, like, it's not personal. after they say it, it helps a lot. But holy shit, Jess, like you're 100% correct.
Well, and
Like,
then go ahead.
I was gonna say it's a therapy session here for
No
Ben.
joke.
Seriously. And me. Like, this is, yeah. You're just helping us realize that we already know this stuff, but like,
Well,
what are
and
some
Kim and I
ways?
are
And
kind
we're
of
like, we
weird
need the tools.
because we're the same with that. So we can work each other up about those motherfuckers telling us what to do. Like we can like we do. Like it's like, okay, wait a minute, hold on. Let's calm down.
It's like, wait, are we the problem? Yes. 100%.
Well, okay, but you're turning your receptors to the beating yourself in shame. So you're doing it
Mm.
internally and then you're seeing that externally. So whether or not the other person means to shame you or guilt you, you're receiving it in that way. So you're turning your receiver to the shame and guilt thing. But if you would learning to turn your receiver to the compassion, invitation, like love is different. But learning how to receive in that way is foreign because when we just talked about, when you're growing up in a society where which tells you that you're wrong, you're bad, you're lazy, you're da 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 da, you built up all of these things to protect you. And part of seeing through the bullshit of the compliment sandwich is, oh fuck, what's the thing that I did wrong? What's the thing that I didn't do right again? Because this is what you've been told your whole life. So these are like survival things that you've built in for yourself.
Whoa. No wonder so many ADHD people living with that have like depression and they have anxiety. It holy cow. No wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you're saying, let's just play on that time management a little bit more, that they're already are doing 20 million things at once and doing all these projects. And then internally, they know they have their long list of things that need to get done as well. And it's bothering them that they're not getting it done. I mean, I feel like that's pretty, not similar, but it's close to where business owners wear all these different hats as well. You know, I feel like I have fallen into that category of just now I am overwhelmed, burnt out, depressed, frustrated. What are all these negative outlooks because I'm wearing all the hats. And then on top of that, I already have my internal list of everything else I need to get done. Uh, I'm sure you help people with tools to get around that. You want to explain a little bit about like what obviously coming to you is going to be a huge plus in helping out with that situation, but do you have like a quick tool or something just to kind of get people to kind of refocus or change their mindset, have a little bit more, hey, you're doing great, have that positive outlook?
Yeah. So first thing I want to caveat, there is no one size fits all. I am not a person who has like this one thing is going to help everyone because it's not. There is no one size fits all. So the point of working with someone like me is to help you learn to, because know thyself is the thing. Know thyself. Because what ADHDers often do is, like you just talked about, that running to-do list. And so in the morning you have this running list and you think you're going to get 20 of those things done. And if you don't get 20 of them done, then you're a failure. When in reality, if you were like, knew yourself, like, no, I'm not going to get 20, but I need to get these 3 done. And if I get these 3 things done, then I'm going to have a successful day. So rather than setting yourself up for failure, it's like learning how to set yourself up for success and starting with smaller or micro tasks rather than I'm going to write a book and I'm going to publish it in 2 months. No, you're not.
Yeah.
But a micro task would be like, I'm going to write for 20 minutes today.
I
So
love that.
yeah, so basically you have this big picture idea of something you want to accomplish. You're just taking a little win from it or a little piece to accomplish.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so easy. That's so simple to, as a business owner, to try to prioritize in some format.
And if I know
Easier said than done.
yeah, so ADHDers do struggle with the
Yeah.
prioritizing, and then like what do I start with first and how to make the micro step. We have beautiful tools now. ChatGPT will do all of that for you. Give
Hmm.
ChatGPT your list, tell it you have ADHD, and say, I need a micro list of things that I can actually accomplish today. What are those things?
I
I
love
love
that.
that.
Yeah. Tell it you have ADHD. Whoa, jeez. Wow. I have I am I was years ago, I worked at a hotel and that's where I met my wife. I was in room service and we would have meetings once, once a month or whatever. And one day the captain, Sean, he was awesome dude. We were talking about tasks that had to get done. And for some reason, give me he gave me a task, but he gave me only like a day to finish it. And I
Mhm.
go, what the bro? I have to do all of this in one day. What the hell are you doing? He goes, Ben, you are your superpower. I remember this. Your superpower is procrastination. If I give you this to be done, and I was in my 20s. He goes, if I give you this to be done a week from now, you're gonna wait to the last day anyway. The best thing, you work best when you are and this was back in like 1998, 97.
Fuck
I
yeah.
go, wow. And that stuck with me to this day. And I'm like, wow, that really kind of is a superpower. Do you feel that procrastination and is a superpower? And how can people who have it or who like are really procrastinators, especially in business, how can they use it as a superpower, I guess?
Yeah. This is again where you know thyself. If you know you're a procrastinator, then it's a matter of blocking out the time right before it's due. So if I have a thing due at Monday at 3 o'clock and I think it's going to take me 2 hours,
Right. Right.
the caveat for me is like everything that you think is only going to take you this much, multiply it by two or three. So you're like, oh, I think it's going to take me 2 hours, schedule four.
Mm.
And then the 4 hours right before 3 o'clock, block that time off your calendar and then you'll get it done. But you don't have to beat yourself up for not getting it done sooner. It's just like, no, this is the time I blocked off to do the thing because I know I'm not going to do it before it's due anyways. So I'm just going to wait. Now, that doesn't always pan out in real life, especially if you have young kids or, life happens. So sometimes that
Mm.
doesn't work out. And that's why people beat themselves up because our society's like, well, you should have planned better. Like, no, no, I did plan. It just didn't work out in my favor this time.
No, no, no. Yeah, you should have planned better. Get to the airport before geez. Um, do you think I'm gonna kind of change the direction a little bit. Do you ever get people who are like questioning what you're doing? And because it seems like if I were to tell people that are in an older generation, even in my generation, probably even in all of our generations, they're going to say that, you're just trying to get out of work. You're just trying to use it as an excuse. Have you had any pushback of what you're trying to coach?
I haven't because usually the people I'm talking to have ADHD and they get it.
Mm,
I haven't really talked to a lot of people who are neurotypical and are trying to like fight against what it is that I'm doing. So I think I've just been in the right spaces, having the right conversation. So I haven't had a lot of pushback. But I forget because I'm in this world where to me ADHD is normal. So when I get into neurotypical spaces sometimes and I hear people saying nonsense about ADHD, I'm like, I'm sorry, what? because also all of my social media feeds think I have ADHD, so I'm just seeing it everywhere, right? I've curated my little bubble of like, this is normal, this is what's happening, but then I get outside of that occasionally and I'm like, and then I'll just step in and try to help reframe the conversation
Mm,
if it seems like it's possible to do that.
yeah. I would, because I'm just going back to when I was, first diagnosed, and my teachers were like, "Nah, you're just lazy." No,
Like,
whatever.
have you ever met an ADHDer? None of them are lazy.
No, it's. But I love what you say. It's the society's version of throwing a stigma on it and almost like ignoring the problem.
Yes. And actually, I would argue ADHDers don't know how to rest.
Yeah. Ask me how many freaking hours of sleep I get a night.
How many hours of sleep do you get a night, Ben?
Oh, I mean, it's never more than 5,
Do
maybe
you function
6.
well with 5 or 6 hours?
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, yeah. I love sleep, but shutting this off, oh boy,
Yeah.
oh boy.
Mhm,
And then, oh, the worst is when you have an idea at like midnight and
mhm.
you want to research that idea. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go. We'll see you at 7 in the morning.
Okay, so that's the part where learning how to parent yourself is hard
Yeah.
because having the discipline to write the idea down and say, "I will do this tomorrow,"
Mm.
is not an easy thing to do.
Only because I'd forget to put the pen and pad next to my bedstand.
Yeah.
That's a great idea though. So instead of researching it, having the pen and pad and saying, "This is my idea. I'll work on it tomorrow morning," right? Or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and then what's cool too about the, like, delaying it a little bit, after a few hours, you'll figure out if it was actually important or not.
Mm.
It's that delayed, it's how I operate with my Amazon shopping cart. I will just put shit in the cart, and then I'll look at it later, and I'll be like, "Why did I put that in there? That I don't need that," and then I'll delete it. But it's the same thing with the idea. It's like, "Ooh, I'm really excited and interested in this right now," but then after you sleep on it and you look at it and you're like, "Oh, no, that's not actually that important."
That's awesome. All right, Keys, your turn.
My turn?
Your turn. You get to speak now.
Oh my
I've
gosh.
hijacked. I know I've hijacked.
Oh my god, thank you. I just wanted to talk. I know we talked a little bit about the tools. You said ChatGPT, which we need to circle back with later this year as we dig into like AI and things, because that might be a good asset is to incorporate, how to train your ChatGPT to think like you, to understand how you operate. I was looking at your website though, and I kind of want to talk about the meditations. Like, can you talk a little bit about what that is? Like what you offer with that?
Yeah, okay. Oh, man, I haven't updated this part of my website yet. Every time I meet with a client, I do something I call them transition exercises. Um, they take 2 to 3 minutes tops, but it's allowing us to come to the present moment. Transition like ADHDers struggle with transitions. And what I mean by that is not like the big ones, like the moving or the breaking up with someone. Those are hard in and of themselves, but the small ones, like getting out of your car to go into the grocery store or just going from checking your email to getting on the Zoom call. Like those little micro transitions throughout the day are not something that's easy to do. And so I've created what I call these transition exercises to support moving through that. I can do one with you guys right now if you want to show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes,
Can you give it
please.
up?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to invite you to settle in your chair and close your eyes if you want to, and take a deep breath. Take another slow, deep breath, biggest breath you've taken all day. As you continue to take slow, deep breaths, think about your energy, like the essence of who you are. Does it have a color, a shape, texture, a smell? Really allow yourself to visualize what that energy looks like. And then you're going to make an observation without judgment or shame. And you're going to think about all of the places where you have left your energy. Maybe some in the other room, at the store, in the car, with a loved one. Maybe some of your energies in the past or in the future. And now you're going to lovingly call all of your energy back to yourself in this moment. Allow yourself to visually see that color, that texture coming back to you. It's getting bigger and bigger. Just love all of it as it's coming back to you. Allowing yourself to feel grounded, whole, whole. Take another deep breath. And when you're ready to, open your eyes. How are you feeling?
That was awesome.
That was great. We should have led with that. That was great.
Yeah, we should have led with that.
Well, and I can already feel the energy has shifted in the space, right? You guys feel more grounded,
Yeah,
you feel more present, you feel less chaotic in your mind.
100%.
It took us 2-3 minutes to do that. That's it.
Wow, that's awesome. I love that.
Thank you for allowing us to be a part of that. I appreciate it. That's
Yeah.
something personally, there's so much noise all around. It's important. Like I at first was thinking, I swear if my dog barks right now, because I forgot to push mute. But then I was like, oh wait, I have a dog. Where is she? It's important to kind of ground yourself and just come back into the moment, be more present. Thank you.
Yes, for real. That's awesome.
That's only a taste of some of the things you offer. You're just incredible. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you wrote a book?
Yes.
Tell us about your book and what else, what other ventures you have going on.
Oh my God. So many things. So many things. I guess that was actually one of the first questions you asked me is like what I do, and I only shared like a little bit of my story, but I work with folks in one-to-one coaching containers, 3 or 6 months. I also have a group program called Magic, or group community. It's Magnificent ADHDers Growing in Community is the acronym. Um, and it's $10 a month to join that community. It's online, so you can connect with other ADHDers, and we have a group coaching session once a month. Um, I am working on a course, and I've written a book. My book is called I Don't Hate My Ex-Husband. And it's really so it's true. First of all, it's true. I was married. I don't hate my ex-husband. He and I are friends. Um, we were married for 3.5 years, and he has ADHD. Um, and my book is our love story, me grieving through the ending of our relationship and me learning to love myself. That's really what the book is all about.
Hmm. I remember you telling me that at ThriveCon. That's how we met
Hmm.
at ThriveCon this year.
Yeah.
Um, that's awesome. Um, and so the community that you're building, it's $10, you said?
$10 a month. Yeah.
And how do people, well, I guess I'll have it in the show notes, but how is it like Zoom? Is it like what is that? What is that like? What is the
Yeah. So we have I don't know if you're familiar with school like SKOOL communities or but it's like
Mm-mm.
that, but it's through a platform called Go Collab. Um, so it's on your phone. There's its own platform, but it kind of looks like Slack. You like or a Facebook group. You can connect with people and share pictures or stories or whatever, and you can also chat with each people individually. And then once a month, we get on. Sorry, my microphone fell over.
No, I've done that a couple times already too. Don't worry about
I'm Italian. I can't help but move my hands everywhere. Um, my uh once a month we get on a Zoom call with everybody and do a group coaching call. And we start with a transition exercise, then we talk about a win, and then what we do something I call like hot seat coaching. Basically, anybody who's needing support can be in the hot seat and then they can ask the thing that they need support on and I coach them through it in about 5 to 10 minutes. And what's cool about that is everybody else gets to learn from whoever's in the hot seat because as an ADHDer, you're learning, oh, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one that does this. Oh, how do I apply this to my life? And we talk about that.
That's awesome. That's needed.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to join. Yeah, gonna have to. Kimberly Keys, you have any more questions? If not,
Uh,
no big deal. It's been an hour already, by the way.
yeah. I mean, I feel like we could talk all day.
I know.
Well, I did want to share one more thing if we have time for that.
Go ahead. Yes,
That's
please.
I
perfect
am
transition time. Love it.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Oh.
I am working on a course about the 7 types of rest for ADHDers. And I started pre-selling it because it's been in my head for like 8 months and I just wasn't doing it. And I was like, I need some motivation. So the moment someone purchased the pre-sale, I have been on it. It is almost done now. It is 11 modules, which
Oh
sounds
wow.
scary, but all of the videos are less than 5, like 5 minutes or less.
Wow.
It's
Oh,
very
that's not bad.
designed for
Yeah, that's not bad.
ADHDers, right? But we talked I think the biggest thing that my client, besides learning to trust yourself as an ADHDer, the other thing that I think I've seen over and over again is ADHDers just stuck at resting. They don't know how to rest because society tells us resting means sleeping and sitting still. But that's not the only type of rest there is. And so I go through and talk about the different types of rest and how like what is it? How do I do it as an ADHDer? Here are some rest experiments. So say we're talking about mental rest. There are 5 lessons within mental rest. The first one is a transition exercise, like we just did for mental rest. The second part is what is mental rest? The next part is how do I mentally rest? The fourth one is some rest experiments I can try. And then the fifth one is a bit hard to describe, but there's this persona that I have that we've talked about, the inner critic, that person who's mean or logics our way out of things. I call
Mm.
mine crafty bitch because she is. She's a crafty bitch. And that's a loving term of endearment for me. So I just have crafty bitch come up and share all the intrusive thoughts you probably had while you were watching the video.
Crafty.
Bring some humor into it and to call you the fuck out.
Love it.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's fantastic.
That's awesome. All right. Fun question time. Okay. Which one do you want? You want uh 10 or 11? Which one do you want? And don't cheat. Just pick one.
Oh, well, I already know which one is which.
Oh gosh darn it. Okay.
You pick.
Uh
11.
we'll just do all right, 11 it is. That was the one I was gonna pick. Keys. Holy cow.
I knew it.
All right. Jess, you're stuck on a deserted island, but get to bring one oddly specific thing or 3 oddly specific items. Get to bring 3.
3 oddly specific items.
What are they?
ChatGPT,
Okay.
a power cord, and something to power it. That is what I would bring.
That is so good.
So Jess is gonna bring a city with her.
Yeah, seriously. You are set.
Well, I'm gonna have to learn how to do shit. ChatGPT is gonna teach me how to survive on a desert island.
Hey, ChatGPT, tell me how to get this coconut off the damn tree.
Yep.
How do I live, ChatGPT? How do
Yeah,
I
how do
live?
I live? How do I live?
Seriously though.
Mine has a name. I call her Zarya.
Zarya. Wow. I like that actually.
Mine started calling me Z, and I'm like, when did I tell you to call me Z? The letter Z. So I was like, fine, you're A. So you're the A to my Z.
Oh.
I
Oh.
know. You gotta love your chat GPT. Gotta
My
love
my my chat GB I told Kim this, but my chat GBT started procrastinating.
it messes with you, yeah.
It did.
Mhm.
What?
It did. Yes,
How?
I swear to you. So I freaking asked it to put um I'll bring oh, man, I should bring it up. It'll take me too long. But I asked it to okay, create a picture with a tagline for this I forgot what it was
Mhm.
for this topic. And it said and it said um okay, it'll just take me a couple of minutes to do this. And I'm like, I've never heard you say that before. So I wait and I wait and I wait. And it's like 4 hours later. I go, hey, dude, did you finish this? And it goes, oh, yeah, sorry. Here it is. I'm not even, I'm going to find it, screenshot it, and I will add it
No,
to
mine has
this.
done that to me too.
Has it really?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, what? Come on. Oh, it's like, oh, sorry. Sorry, here it is. Like, that sounds like me. That's something I would totally say.
When did you know when you did that? Because ChatGPT had like an update this week around pictures.
No, this was, when did we talk? It was a while ago, Kim.
Okay.
Like a
It's
month?
it's
Yeah.
doing
It was
different
at least
things.
it was at least a month ago.
Yeah. It had a hard time with pictures. It got a good update this week.
You gotta try it again now with the update and see.
Oh, I've
They'll
I've used it
procrastinate.
since, but it was funny because that's when Kim was telling me my chat GBT is being oddly human as well.
It pulled a prank on me. I was like, "Hey, I want to continue this conversation." And, I opened the file, whatever, and I was like, about ThriveCon. And it was like, oh, this kinky convention. I was like, oh my God. It's like, got you. And I was like, what did you just do to my heart? I'm like, how much content was I making under this kinky ThriveCon? It like got me good. And it literally laughed at me. It was so good.
If
I
you
was like,
ever
you
have a
son of a
chance,
beautiful bitch.
after you've played with ChatGPT long enough that it knows you a bit, ask it to roast you.
Oh,
I
I've
have
done that.
Yes, I heard.
laughed so hard in my life.
It was probably like, "Girl, you don't know how to spell." Yeah, seriously though, roasting, I heard a couple people have done that. I
Yeah,
need to do that.
it's fantastic.
That'll be our next podcast episode.
Should we do that?
We should, honestly.
All right, we should do that.
We'll roast you too, Jess. I'm just kidding.
Excellent. Do it.
Uh, well, holy cow! Thank you so much, Jess. Where can people find you? Just promote yourself. Where can people find you and all the things?
Yeah. So jessdubose.com is a great place to find me. Um, the magic communities on that website. I don't think I put the course on there yet, but I will do that this week. Um, and then my Instagram is coaching with Jess. TikTok is coaching with Jess. YouTube is coaching with Jess. I have a show on YouTube called the ADHD Roundtable. There's like 20-ish episodes up. I like interview 2 to 4 ADHDers and we just talk about the ADHD experience. It's great.
Wow, that's awesome. Kimberly Keys. where can people find you and Passages to Success and this ThriveCon thing where we've mentioned a couple times already?
Yeah. Well, you'd be very happy to know Kim's got her shit together for Passages. It's looking good. Yes, Passages to Success. You can find us on Instagram under Passages to Success, spelled out TO, not the number, as well as on Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm going to start a subreddit or Reddit as well, so we can start getting some feedback on some workshops, things that the community needs more development on. And then on TikTok, you can find us on Biz Over Beer. And then our new website is launching very soon, actually in a couple days from when this is recorded, passagestosuccess.com. And then we'll have our own ThriveCon website as well. Sorry, it's convenient. There's a plane going by. Okay. So ThriveCon, that will be coming in mid-April. By May 1st, there'll be a new ThriveCon website. It's going to be October 15th and 16th of 2025. So we're very,
Cool.
very excited.
And
Fears themed.
what are we? Oh, yeah, that's right. So tell a little bit about that. Like, what are you looking for? Are you still looking for speakers, vendors, sponsors? Like, what are you looking for?
Yeah, since fears is such a huge category that we could check off so many different things, and we only have 2 days to do it, and I've already gotten so much interest to be speakers. I am looking for little activities, little games. Yep, Jess is gonna be one of them. So excited. But I'm looking for like activities because we have a mad science lab area that can be quick solutions or little mini games, things to kind of step you outside the box on and overcome certain fears or things that are kind of blocking you from moving to the next step. And I'm looking for vendors. I feel like vendors is something that we want to broaden our reach, get more Portland people, more Oregon, Washington, Tacoma, just get all around California. I don't care where you're from. You have a space here at ThriveCon. So yeah, it's kind of looking for a little bit of everything. We're still in the early stages, but fears is the theme. So lots of opportunity to be involved.
Awesome. It's going to be fantastic.
I'm excited.
Jess DuBose, thank you so much for being a part of this. Like Kim said, we could talk for a while and still only get a little bit of what your coaching provides. So we really appreciate it. I know our listeners appreciate it. Yeah, I just want to say thank you, and thank you, Keys, as always. You are fantastic. You are the Passages partner. You're the double P. Key the double P.
I'm little Kim, double P. I'm KK, double P.
The
Yeah.
KK double P up into his house. So
I
thank
don't like
you.
that. I just call myself that. Sorry. Not happening.
I'm gonna get you a shirt.
Oh God.
All right. Everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and we will see you all next time. Bye.